Hello and welcome to Brew Tapcast. I am Tap here for another Flesh and Blood video. It is spoiler time, so Monarch will be dropping in just a few short weeks, and there are spoilers streaming into the media right now. So it is the 12th of April, probably very close, or if not, is the 13th of April in New Zealand. So we are going to be talking about the first set of spoilers that happened on the 12th in New Zealand. So theoretically, it's already the next day now, but we're a day behind. So we're going to talk about the 12th of April spoilers. So yeah, let's just dump right into it. We have a whole bunch of cards to go through today, as well as some information that we just gathered from what they have. So let's just jump right into the cards right now. All right, here we are. So if you go to the main page for Fab, they will have a link for the Monarch spoilers. Go ahead and jump on there now. It's going to tell you they roll it. Looks like they're rolling 3 days at a time. They sort of have spoilers coming up for people as they go down. Yesterday, it was started with the 12th, and there was up to the 13th. Now there's up to the 15th. You can see the actual card names here of the 7 cards that were actually spoiled over the past couple days and the respective places to find them. And then everything for the next 3 days. Shout out to Flesh and Bones. Friend of the channel, definitely excited to see him doing that, as well as Bronson and a bunch of other people, and more to come, hopefully more from the community. So those that's where to find the links to all the spoilers. Let's get into the spoilers themselves. So before we do that, let's just sort of pan out here. We're going to take a little look-see from a far take here. Just going to quickly bring up some things to talk about. So we know we have 7 cards spoiled. Before we get into those, let's do the breakdown of the Monarch set. So right now we know some stuff here. So we have 11 sets of cards. So in previous blocks, there are, X heroes and generics and whatever. There are 11 blocks of cards here. So we're not really sure what we're going to going for here, but there's going to be a bunch of characters or classes we expect to see. So first one we have, and that includes generics. There's 11 blocks. So we have 28 cards here. We don't know anything about them. We have another block of 31 cards. Then a block of 28 cards. So this is where we first jump into our actual spoilers that we know about. So let's just zoom right into those cards right now and start talking about them. So these are going to be your light cards. I think I totally just messed that up. These are going to your light cards. So these are your big boy cards that we've just sort of started looking at now. Let me just jump right into that right here like this. So Celestial Cataclysm is our first of those cards. It is a light action attack. So it is our first attack. Lovely border. This doesn't say anything about heroes in general, so we don't really know if this is a particular hero. Obviously, it needs to be a light hero. That's going to be, I imagine, a genre of heroes. So we know that there is not a hero called a light class. At least we don't think so. Hopefully there will be multiple classes per light, or maybe something like that. It's not necessarily going to be just a single thing. We know that there are multiple heroes in the dark or the shadow. We can talk about those in a moment. So Celestial Cataclysm, yellow, pitched for 2, cost 0, attack 7, defend 3, additional cost to play it, banish 3 cards from your hero's soul, and then go again. So that is like a juiced up Enlightened Strike that's doesn't have the same sort of cost. It's not an onboard cost or in-hand cost, an onboard cost. We do know something about the soul. We'll find that in a card later. But basically what that means is your soul is a bunch of cards underneath your hero. So that's about all we know about what the soul is. So we don't know too much, but that's what it is. So you either can put them there, or they start there, or there's an activation to put them there, maybe with the hero, something like that. But you can banish 3 from your arsenal as additional cost to pay. Actually, you must do that. So juiced up Enlightened Strike, but theoretically a different kind of cost pay has go again built in. So pretty dang nice card there. All right, so that is our first one. We'll jump on to Tome of Divinity. So this is a expensive looking draw spell. So it's a yellow, so pitch for 2, cost 4, light instant. Draw 2 cards. If a card has been put into your hero's soul this turn, draw 3 instead. So we don't really know how easy or hard it is to put something into a hero's soul. Even if it is, unless there's some like real big snowball effect, or maybe this could happen on an opponent's turn, drawing 2 cards for 4 is not great. We have Tome of Fyendel, which is a little bit cheaper and can actually gain you some life as well. So, well, a lot of it cheaper, but only can draw you 2. So maybe that third card really matters. And we do know that 1 card versus 2 cards, or an extra card, can be a huge difference. So we know that that could have some serious power. We just don't know exactly what that means as far as being able to play this. Maybe there's a way to play this for reduced cost. based on, oh, if any light card you play costs X less for X number of cards in your soul or something like that. There might be some cost reduction here. So, from 1,000 Yard Stare looks kind of like garbage. Maybe it's not that garbagey. We'll have to wait and see. Number 3, so we zoom down, is our last of the light cards. We have Ray of Hope. So this it looks like it buffs attacks. So Ray of Hope, sorry, two pitch values. So it's yellow, costs 1, light instant. Attacks you control have +1 while attacking a shadow hero this turn. So shadow hero, again, we don't know if shadow versus light are these genres of heroes. They hold heroes within them, and then there's maybe specializations. So like, let's say like, oh, like we have arcane ones that like Runeblade and Wizards both use arcane stuff, so that could theoretically be a group you're putting people in. Maybe light is a group that you have multiple heroes in that are still different classes. We're not really sure just yet, but a shadow hero, it'll probably say on the card that's a shadow hero or the type of hero it is, or maybe you can choose to be light or shadow depending on what cards you have in your deck. So if you are a shadow version of something like a shadow Runeblade, you're an evil Runeblade and you can only use the shadow cards and you're like, angry, whatever, versus maybe you choose to be a light Runeblade, which I don't know, that seems a little bit far-fetched, but maybe they're just certain heroes that are always light, always dark. Maybe you can swap between them. We don't really know yet. Be cool. Any of those setups are really neat in my mind. So attacks you control have +1 while attacking a shadow hero this turn. If you have less life than an opposing shadow hero, put Ray of Hope in its hero's soul. So put this card face up under your hero card. So this is where we know what it actually means to be or to have something in your soul. So we don't really know the difficulty. Like, cool, paying 1, doing this, having more life. That this is the first of a couple cards that talk about life totals being rather important to some major mechanics. So this one, Ray of Hope, talks about having more life and then putting a card in the soul. We have a card, the opposite card, the one that was sort of spoiled. The card art was spoiled a while ago in tandem with it. That talks about the same sort of thing, banishing a card from your graveyard, which, we're talking about Blood Debt. We'll get there in a minute. But it has to do with life, if you have more life. So kind of important. It seems as though life is a little bit more important in this particular format, this card set, but that makes a lot of sense because this is sort of supposed to be like the overarching theme of like good versus evil taking over the world sort of thing. So maybe life is a big deal. Life and death is your balance sort of thing. So yeah, that is the last of our light cards. So then we jump out to, that was a set of cards. That was how many cards were in the light one? That's 28 in the light section. We don't really know if light's going to split between other sections or not, but that's the light section. We then have two sections of 17 cards apiece. There's nothing in those just yet. We have 2 sections of 34 cards apiece, so big chunks there. Those are the second largest groups. And then we get to the meat and potatoes, which everyone's pumped about because this art is absurd and awesome. So we have 4 different shadow cards spoiled. We have the first being Doomsday. So Doomsday is this legendary. So it is a legendary specialization card as well as being a legendary. So yes, these are not equipment, folks. These are going to go in your deck. They will be played. You will draw them. You will pitch them. You will do all that kind of stuff. They are not equipment necessarily at all. So what do they do? All right, Doomsday. It's a blue pitch for 3, cost of 0. Legendary Levia specialization, or Levia. Don't really know what that how to say that is, but that is a new hero. So we have one new hero named right here, Shadow Side. Again, I feel like if this is where is it a shadow type, or you can choose between shadow and light for your warrior or your brood or whatever? No, I think more likely it's not. It's certain shadow, or certain heroes are shadow or light, because would you really have a legendary card for a hero that is not always going to be able to play it based on if they're light or shadow? So kind of pushes that theory out of the wall there. All right, let's get to the meat and potatoes here. Shadow instant. And again, look at the outside of the rim here. We see some sort of like feathery things here, and then we see the crystally boys, a little bit of mouth and bitey, dragony, sort of snaky things. So again, this looks a little bit like our Runeblade legendary stuff like that, but it's a little bit different. So we're sort of like, obviously Demon Astery area is where this comes from. So that's like all we can really tell from there. Okay, so legendary Levia specialization. Play Doomsday only if there are 6 or more cards with Blood Debt in your banished zone. So this is the first iteration of Blood Debt here. So what we know about Blood Debt, and we'll see this later in a card, Blood Debt is for every card you have with Blood Debt, if it is in your banished zone, For every card with Blood Debt, you lose 1 life at the end of your turn. So basically, they sort of build up in your banish zone for, in this particular case, a huge payoff, we think. So Blood Debt, that's what that means. And we're not really sure if there's Blood Debt that has multiple iterations on a single or on multiple cards. So like Blood Debt 1, Blood Debt 2, whatever. Everything seems to be 1 life lost for each card with Blood Debt in your banish zone at the end of your turn. So, or at the start of the end of your turn. All right, so payoff, cool. You play this free thing. 6 or more cards with Blood Debt in your banish zone. It's probably pretty hard to do. There's probably going to be enablers. Whether the heroes do it or not, we don't really know yet. Create a Blasphemet, the Soul Harvester token. And so now, what is that? What is a Blasphemet Soul Harvester token? Well, we really don't know. We know that this game doesn't really have creatures per se like you do in Magic. You have a weapon and you play actions and things like that. So chances are we could see some tweaking to those rules, and that like maybe this Soul Harvester token is a weapon in the form of a monster, or it's just like this ruthless, awesome, legendary sword, right? And that makes sense. This is a legendary spell. You can only have one of them. Kind of stinks if that's like one of your basic weapons, or maybe it becomes like, you know, you have to throw away your old weapon and you get this new massive like blah thing. But it looks, to me, it looks more like it's gonna be a monster maybe, and so maybe you summon this demon as your weapon and you can attack with it, sort of thing. So instead of it being a legitimate like, oh, a big sword or axe or something like that, maybe it's a monster. Maybe it's this creature that you can, you know, summon to your aid to attack your opponent, something like that. So there's a lot of room to wiggle around in there. We're not really sure too much about that. We don't really even had tokens. I mean, maybe this could be like an item, but I don't really know. So I think there's a lot to unpack here that we don't really know. Just look at the art though. Like there's eyeballs all over the place. There's eyeballs everywhere. I'm looking at like weird things. Is that an eyeball? Is that an ear? I don't know, but like eyeballs everywhere, stuff like that. Some bodies up here, big giants in the clouds back here, demons flying in the sky. Pretty cool, amazing art. Little hand here. Oh my god. A lot of cool stuff going on here. So yeah, that is Doomsday, our first shadow card. Let's move on to our next one, Eclipse. So again, legendary chain specialization, blue pitch, cost 0, shadow instant as well. Again, another legendary. You're gonna shuffle this up into your deck there. So only play 1 Eclipse in your deck, and only if your hero is chain. Again, pushing more towards the chain's always a shadow one. Can't really go the light one. Play Eclipse only if you have played 6 or more cards with Blood Debt this turn. If you have, you may play Eclipse from your banish zone. So again, this is on the other side. So you are going to be playing cards with Blood Debt. Some of those maybe are going to banish automatically. We haven't seen any of that. Others will just go to your graveyard, and then there will be other ways to maybe banish them. So, but 6 in a single turn is quite a lot. There's going to have to be something that's going to be able to draw you a bunch of cards, or chain through your deck, or maybe you could pitch to play other Blood Debt cards from your graveyard or something like that. There has to be maybe some recursion. Otherwise, that's a lot to try to do. To play 6 cards in one turn, including having this. You know, this is not. I guess you could say if you have, you may play this from your banish zone. So cool. All right, you got 4 cards in hand. Maybe you can somehow get 2 more. We got 1 in arsenal, and then you can like sort of draw. One card that draws a couple, but those all have to have Blood Debt. So that's like a huge setup cost. And what's the payoff? Well, you create an Ursur, the Soul Reaper token. So again, we don't know if this is like a monster you're summoning to your aid, a weapon, whatever. We don't really know what it is. My guess is it's gonna be some kind of monster thing that you're going to use as a weapon, or it's just gonna hit as a token, as an item, and it's just gonna do something. I don't even know. It's probably going to interact with specifically light things, but not only specifically light things. So maybe it can take away soul, like cards from a soul of a light hero or something like that. Obviously, I don't think these are going to be outside of light and shadow play. I don't think they're going to be useless. So they can't really only target like light stuff. Maybe there's a certain ones that do for limited, but who knows? We're not really sure about that. So, all right. So yeah, that's really weird. Got another hero. So 2 heroes, same border, again, from the Demonastery, similar to how we see our current Runeblade, Viscerai. And that's that. So we have 1 more, I believe. Oh, no, 2 more. Sorry, Tome of Torment. We have a Blood Debt card. Here we go, our first one. So this is 1 pitch, 0 cost, Tome of Torment. You may play Tome of Torment from your banish zone. So again, we want to have Blood Debt cards banished for multiple reasons. Draw a card. So Blood Debt. At the beginning of your end phase, if Tome of Torment is in your banished zone, lose 1 life. So again, this particular one only says 1 life. Maybe there's ones that actually have a higher blood debt. Who really knows? But this is the kind of card that does make the Eclipse a little bit easier to think about playing, because this is free and it replaces itself. So it cantrips in. It doesn't go to your banished zone, but that's fine. We can banish it later, and we don't want it in our banished zone unless we're going for that other one. Doomsday. So in this particular case, maybe there are other ones that just sort of cantrip. Again, there's some more eyes. Like, what's up with all the eyes, man? But yeah, so Majestic. So you can't have 2. It's not saying it's legendary or anything as far as having a specialization card. So you throw 2 of these in your Blitz deck. That's 2 blood debt cards for free that replace themselves. So maybe if you just flood your deck with all this stuff, really focus on that, you can actually do that thing. So Tome of Torment, creepy, awesome, goobery art, cool things that, again, I'm thinking Necromancer. This is just screaming Necromancer. The light cards, screaming Paladin. Like some of the art, which we'll hit in a second, scream like sort of this holy warrior, but not warrior, like holy cleric, maybe battle cleric, sort of Paladin sort of thing. We'll get to that. This screams Necromancer. I mean, all of it, Necromancer. All right, last spoil card we have in this dark section, which again was, how many cards we had? This is 34 cards. All right, Tome of Torment was there, and now we have Eclipse Existence. So Eclipse Existence is this blue pitch, 0 cost, shadow instant. So here's that other part of that life thing that matters here. We have whenever an attack you control hits a light hero this turn, you may banish a card from their soul. If you do, they lose 1 life. So this is draining their life, which again, on the light side, that's kind of important for them, especially for the other card we just looked at. And you may banish. So obviously, you probably want to banish things from their soul, right? That's probably part of the thing that's important for them. So then, if you have more life than your opposing light hero, or than an opposing light hero, you may banish an action card from your graveyard. So, boom, that's how you're going to maybe get blood debt cards into your banish zone, is being able to, drop those things into the banish zone with cards like Eclipse Existence. This is a common. That's the thing that I don't think anyone really realizes. This is a common card. It says it right there. So you can have these really easily. So my assumption is that you're going to be able to banish stuff pretty easily because this is a common. I actually hadn't thought about that earlier, but being a common, like, boom, it's going to happen all the time. I don't see that being hard. And this is an instant, so you could kind of do it any time. Like, it doesn't even, like, I think you don't even have to have that first part to do anything. That's just to have them lose soul and whatever. But you can just play this. If you have more life than your opposing life hero, banish a card. So boom, you can just on the first turn of the game, there's not gonna be anything in your graveyard, but like as an instant at the end of your turn, maybe you do some attacks, boom, you played a blood debt card, boom, banish it. You can even banish it on their turn, so you don't get that hit of the blood debt at the end of your turn. So I think that's a key to remember about this being a common, because it might actually really make a difference when we go to those big Doomsday Eclipse cards. So, all right, so I think those are all the cards we actually have spoiled. We can zoom back out now, and then we have a couple other sections here. We have a section of 8, a section of 8, 9, and then all of our generics. Our largest thing at 69 cards. So likely these will be support cards. Maybe they're just going to be what sort of gets limited, sort of situated in a spot that isn't entirely focused on just that sort of stuff. We don't really know. But it's the fillers sort of thing there. But those are the actual card spoilers. So again, check out those spoilers. You're going to be able to find those at these certain areas here, depending upon what day it is. So today at some point, or today in New Zealand, we got Bronson coming out with one. We got my boy Flesh and Bones coming out there. He was so pumped about that. So definitely looking forward to when his drops. And then let's just take a quick gander at the art they spoiled on Sunday. So here's the Eclipse one. We already saw that. Gorgeous art. You can see all these bones and skelly things and all this cool sky. So awesome art there. This is Doomsday, so we saw that creepy stuff. Different sort of zoom in as the card is. Like this one, you can't see as much on the left side, but it looks like you see more on the right side or something. Maybe it's just kind of squished. I don't know. Can't see as many eyeballs. Only got a couple on there. Don't know what this one is. That's just really cool looking. This demon-y thing, all these tentacles creeping out of the ground. This dude, I put this as the background because I actually really like this. Is like I'm all about that green stuff, and it's like everything else is like light or dark. I just want give me some trees, man. I just want some trees. Don't know what this guy is, but like just dark heart lava blood thing. Like holy moly, art's getting really ruthless in this thing. There's one other favorite one. It's the next one. This is really cool too. This reminds me a lot of magic, like evil synergies here. But like these might be like some dwarves, like just like demons, like coming and destroying everything, like destroying this town. Like this guy's like, oh my god, look at that thing, and then he's like, stab, and they're just like dying. These like siren-y looking clawed things are coming after this big skull. So brutal stuff. This one is super cool. So it's like at the perspective of you are this guy who's like totally getting warped, eyes are bleeding, mouth is bleeding, these creepy demons, you're like dying or whatever, looking at yourself in the mirror. Really neat. Like these cackling demons beside you. Blood bleeding tree with, this is thinking, I mean, I don't know if that's really Runeblade. Like this guy's just like getting stuff born out of him. I love the art of this like leaf stuff inside that just bursts into this tree that is like full of dripping blood, and like, oh, the imagery is so amazing. I wonder if these symbols have anything to do with anything. Just so much cool art here. We got this, like maybe this is going to be one of your heroes or something like that, that's like trying to burst out of the shadows into the light, or it's a hero being taken into the shadows from the light, because this doesn't really look necessarily evil. Maybe it's got that purpley sort of demonastery thing, but not necessarily an actual evil one. All these runes on this castle here, big sword being grabbed by that hand, all these things coming in there. So that's what that looks like. Looks like this is just some sort of cool generic card. Maybe got this symbol over here. Maybe that means something just about to be taken by this demon. Super cool stuff there. And we go into those sort of lighter ones here. We got this Hand of Soul or something coming to say, hey, everything's going to be okay. We're going to do all this good stuff. These very, very angelic looking godly beings, all this light and prayer sort of stuff. Looks like people are leaving Solania in this one. This is a taller card. I wonder if that's going to be an actual card. So yeah, marching out of Sol. Who knows what's going on there? Maybe they're leaving because it's about to be taken over. Got a bunch of townsfolk getting after it. Gotta love that when they're just charging in there to like go to battle. I love this. Like looks like a ladder almost. This guy's got a cane and a scythe. That's so good. We'll give a pot in his head. Love it. All right, nice little dwarf warrior. So I wonder if that's going to be a hero. Interesting. Don't know. We haven't seen any heroes of the dwarven stature just yet. I wonder if he's important. Maybe he's going to be the monarch. Who knows? This guy's just, rallying the townsfolk sort of thing. This guy's like stretching his leg. I'm getting ready. Like, they're just warming up, getting their stuff on. You know what I mean? He's like, oh my God, get moving. Holy crap. Get your armor on. Blah, blah, blah. He's like, what? Something like that. And this looks like last couple of ones, we got this rally of battle. This has got to be one of our light heroes, right? This has got to be. Like, look at these archangel sort of wings. They're just about to like jump down and like kill all these like feathered helms and things like that. This has got to be a light hero right here, just leading the charge. These huge demons engulfing all these towns and stuff like that. Same here. Another maybe a light hero using that light to like burst the demons away from them and just like evoking this blinding solar thing that's just like ripping them apart. Another sort of angelic sort of thing. It almost looks like it's got a little. Can we zoom in here? Can we zoom in? Get that microscope. Oh, sorry. Get that. Oh, geez. My apologies. That's all wacky. Maybe we can't zoom in that much, but maybe that almost looks like Sol. Like you can see those quadrants, or not quadrants, those sections of the town. That looks exactly like Sol. So it's like I'm taking Sol to protect you. So maybe Sol doesn't actually fall. And this is our last one. This is Cataclysm or Cataclysmic Strike, and this is that god holy thing just coming and blowing up. I mean, that kind of looks like the Demonastery, like we see. We don't see a lot of purple, but that like those spiky towers might actually be that. So yeah, so that's gonna be it for right now. So again, definitely check out Spoilers. They are coming out probably once this video is posted. There's gonna be more dropping, so definitely check those out. And yeah, let me know what you think about the things we talked about, and I look forward to making more of these as more previews come out. So thank you so much for checking out this video. Let me know if you liked it. Let me know if you didn't, and we'll see you next time for some more Flesh and Blood spoilers. So this is Tap signing out for Brew Tap Cast, saying goodbye and cheers.